So the work is continuing, and here's where we're at right now. We got this pile that is still growing, and I'm giving it away, but still got too much of it. We got these two bins in here. They came out. It was a lot of work taking all the pebbles and rocks from the inside out, but I got them clear out, and they're just gonna stay right there until I give them away or throw them away. They were originally located in this area, so now we got this cleared out here, and what's left is pebbles here. We got pebbles in here going all the way out. The large bin here, it was a large white bin in this spot. We cleaned that and relocated to the back on that side, just temporary. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4. One of these two bins will be reused as a filter in that spot on this side. So once I have space, I'm gonna clear this one out. These bins, they measure 40 inches deep, 48 inches wide or long, and 24-inch tall. So if you calculate and subtract like the thickness of the bin itself, this should give you about 32 cubic foot of volume on the inside if you were to just try to measure how much media is in here. So it's a very big container. I think one container technically should be enough to filter the entire pond, but I'm gonna go with 2 just for added safety. So even though it's about 32 cubic foot, once you offset certain things, because I'm not gonna fill it all the way up, I'm thinking I'm probably gonna get about 28 or so. This big container is not gonna be used for this setup, and neither is that container. So the big change from my original plan is this. As you can see, this area right here has been cleared off. I cut out the liners, and look, there used to be a priming pot right here for the skimmer circuit and the bottom drain, right? But I've chopped that off. That way it gives me a lot more space to work with on this side. And I'm gonna relocate that probably somewhere back there. I'll figure that out when we get there. But here, see this spot right here? I've basically put a border, simple one, on this side and on this end, and then I pour concrete in here, along with using some of the pebbles there as well. And it is gonna slope down towards the border that was previous on here. Originally, I wanted the concrete to come over and hit where this liner is, so that is a straight, smooth path. But then I thought about it, in terms of the slope, when the concrete starts hitting this part right here, it's only gonna be a little bit higher, like half an inch higher than the original concrete. So I thought that would be very weak, like it's not gonna, and then this part will go down, so it will be a little bit thicker. But then there's this weak area where the concrete is only like half an inch thick, and I didn't feel like that was necessary. So I brought it up to just the border, and then the border is slightly higher, so nothing can ever, accidentally go through or fall in. And this area now is gonna be housing one of the white bins for the filter. And I was gonna put one where the wheelbarrow was, right? But then since I removed the skimmer basket, it is now gonna allow me to put 2 in here, and it'll keep everything in this area, which is a lot nicer and neater. Okay, So in terms of measurement, um, this platform here is gonna be about 9.5 foot. So 9.5 foot when it comes over there. And those two containers, if you put them lengthwise, they add up to about 8 foot. So I have 1.5 foot of spacing, which means I can put this space out the containers just a little bit to allow me to put a footing here, or put some posts here to build up the decking structure. So the decking structure is going to have one set of posts right here, one set of posts right there, and another one right there, and it's going to run 10 feet in length, which allows me to use just a standard 4x4x10, and it'll be nice and neat. Alright, so now I gotta peel off this piece here and added a simple frame on that side so I can finish off the concrete in this area. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this down, put on a time lapse, and see how it works. I'm gonna experiment with this camera. But in terms of the water right now, it's been tested and there's no issues. Nitrate, nitrite, ammonia, everything's at 0, which was surprising to me because I thought without the filter that the water condition was going to worsen really fast. Well, turns out that wasn't the case, and the reason why is because this water already has a lot of bacteria, and right now this water is actually very dirty, so there's a lot of small pieces. It could be anything. It could be dust, it could be a combination of like dead solids, but tiny pieces floating around. So it's basically acting sort of like a I'm trying to think of the word. Okay, so it's basically with all the solid right here that's floating, caused by the aerator, is acting like a moving media bed. So essentially it's like a giant filter right now. There's so many little small pieces floating that the bacteria has a place to kind of bond and reside and stick to, that it's acting like a moving bed media filter. So there's no concerns at the moment, which is very surprising. But that's also going to help me seat the filter when I put it back, so it's going to be much faster this time. But we'll get to that discussion later on once everything is set up. The water crest right here started to die. Only the pieces that are drooping down and getting some water from the pond is surviving. In terms of the water leakage area, since that we're no longer floating water into this bog area, there's no more leakage. The water level has not dropped in 5-6 days. I mean, it barely dropped like half an inch, and that's accounted for by essentially evaporation. So that tells me that, yeah, once I have this back to normal, I don't have to really flow water into it constantly because there's no more leakage. Okay, alright, so we're gonna go ahead and start cleaning now.
Okay, so here is the process, and this was recorded on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 using the time-lapse mode. I was able to set multiple points for the gimbal to rotate. As you can see, it's kind of like moving moving right, and then it should go back to left later on, but I set it for about 2 hours of time-lapse. This thing only took like less than an hour, I think, this part right here. But it worked really well. The quality came out nice. It rotated very slowly. It captured really good details of the work. And yeah, so that's really quick. Really great camera.
Alright, so that was that. That basic form, blocking off the sides, filling it up with pebbles and then concrete. I use 5 bags. I thought I was going to be missing some, but after filling it up with some more pebbles, I was able to get just enough, so I didn't have to make a second trip down to Home Depot, which is good, saved me time. But right now, looking at this, it's pretty wet, so I can only smooth it so much. Gotta wait a couple of hours until it dries up a little bit better, and then I'm gonna do my best to smooth it out. It's not critical. This thing is simply just to put the bins on. It's not a structural platform either. It's just a base, and so I'm not too critical about it. And you notice I didn't use any reinforced rebars or mesh, steel mesh, or anything of that nature. I just tossed pebbles and cement in there. I mean concrete, and then that's that. So this should dry by tomorrow morning, and we'll continue the rest of the work then. But for now, this is what it looks like. Let me see if I can get my shadow out of the way. All right, there you go. So everything sort of just slopes, that corner being a little bit higher, going down, 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 down. Trying to match it up here with the same level as the previous platform. It's a little bit challenging. I had to fill in with some more pebbles on that side. But yeah, this is it. Pretty simple. Should be effective. And then once we put this stuff in, we're gonna have to run the skimmer circuit and the bottom drain circuit back. So that's a whole nother different job right there.